Yesterday we learned two different methods for calculating the inverse of a matrix. One method was using systems of equations. The second method was expanding our matrix with the identity matrix and doing row operations until the left half of the matrix became the identity matrix and the right half wound up being the inverse, which we were trying to find. So why do we need inverses? Well, let's take a simple system we'd like to solve. The first step is transforming this system of equations into what's called a matrix equation. To do that, we'll take the coefficients of our variables and write them in what's called a coefficient matrix. And then we'll take the variables themselves and write that in what we call our variable matrix. And then we'll take the two answer numbers and put those on the other side of the equal sign in the answer matrix. So we can take any system of equations and transform that into a matrix equation. Once we have that, the next few steps are simple. All we need to do is calculate the inverse of our coefficient matrix. And we have a few methods to do that. And multiply that times our answer matrix. And that'll give us the values of our variables. So if I can find the inverse of matrix 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll multiply that by matrix 8, 6, and I'll have my values for x and y. The quickest way to do it would be to put those on your calculator in a matrix A, and then calculate the inverse of matrix A. And it winds up being -2, +1, 3/2, -1/2. Now I'm going to multiply that by matrix 8, 6. And that should give me the values for x and y. If I multiply the first row times the first column, I'm going to get a -4 plus 6. I'm sorry, -16 plus 6, which is a -10. And then if I do the second row times the first column, I'm going to get 12 minus 3, which is 9. So therefore, x is equal to -10 and y is equal to 9. And that's all it takes to solve a system. Now it seems like a lot of work for a system of only two equations and two variables. But for bigger systems, 3x3s, 4x4s, and larger, this is going to be a very efficient method of solving a system. So the first step is transform it to a matrix equation, find the inverse of the coefficient matrix, and multiply that by the answer matrix, and we'll get our solutions.